Well, my name's Ricky Carilli. I'm 34 years old. I grew up in Staten Island, New York. I lived there. Grew up in Italian-American culture, and I lived in Staten Island until I was 25 years old. Pretty much no responsibilities, just kind of living at my parents' house. And then I moved out to California to start a life of my own, leave the nest and spread my wings a little bit. I've been in California for 9 years at this point. I'm a certified elite fitness trainer, nutritionist, corporate wellness specialist, checking all the boxes on anything health and wellness related that I could learn and improve my skills to help others with. So I also have a master's degree in human service counseling and life coaching from Liberty University, on top of my bachelor's degree in psychology and sociology from College of Staten Island. Next. So who do I help? I specialize in full circle wellness. So like I already mentioned, for busy parents and business professionals, as well as life coaching for teens and young adults. That's something I'm very passionate about. I want to help all the people that were or are in a position that I was in and could have used someone like myself to, excel them a little bit in life. I have a decade of experience, more than that, in my own life of living this way and learning everything, pretty much the hard way. I've helped dozens of clients of all ages, from the kids that we do the youth fitness training with, to adults that I do life coaching with, to we also have the women's fitness group, which Terry's a part of. Today, right after B&I, just a little plug on my own presentation. So yeah, and things I already mentioned. I do fitness and nutrition coaching mainly for groups. I do offer one-to-ones also. Life coaching mainly for young adults and teens. And I do business-to-business wellness seminars, pretty much like this, where I will come up and come to your business and speak to your employees. So any employers out there that truly care about your employees and want to give them some health and wellness tips, help them, stop calling in sick and things like that. So it might not directly affect your bottom line, but in the long run, it'll help out and it'll help them, and they might learn something that's very valuable that they could bring home to their family and instill in their lives.
Oh,
okay,
nice.
Why me? Because I'm very passionate about teaching others how to achieve balance in their lives. Like I mentioned, we're very busy. We're doing 100 different things as entrepreneurs. All the time. It's very important to take a step back sometimes and ask yourself, how am I treating myself when I'm going all out for all these other people in my life? Are you taking any time to keep yourself as healthy as you possibly can so you can play the long game? We're trying to make it more than 10, 20 years. We're trying to live 101 like Terry's mother is, right? Also, while I do have many credentials, I have all these certifications stacked up, collecting dust on my bookshelf, right? I pride myself on firsthand experience. I never want to be trying to teach anyone anything that I haven't done firsthand. I don't believe in that. I don't follow that type of advice, and I don't want to push that on anyone else. So anything I talk about is something I've already lived firsthand, and if it isn't, I'm not going to give you an answer until I educate myself on that topic. Lastly, I'm authentic and transparent. You're always going to hear the truth about what I believe, and you may or may not like it, but I'm concerned about results and not necessarily your feelings. Okay, we're all going to die. No, I didn't come here. I'm not going to do anything crazy, but we're all going to die, and we can't change that fact. So what I focus on is the things that we can do to help us live better, right? We're all going to die, but we want to focus on the things we can do to improve our lives that we're living now and the longevity of those lives. So here's how I could do that.
Next.
So I developed a program. It took a very long time, and it's always constantly changing, but that's okay because that's part of the game. It's called Freedom Within, a practical approach for lasting wellness. So freedom is an acronym. The first one is faith. Now, faith number one, in ourselves. That's self-confidence, and that is eventually going to come from experience, taking, these small steps that are going to compound into you actually being confident in doing something. Everyone is going to feel first going into business, first getting into fitness, first starting to eat healthy. It's going to feel overwhelming. You're going to have imposter syndrome. It's very important to have that faith in yourself to keep on going. Just push through that short period of time. Also, faith in a higher power, not a specific religion, but some kind of higher power that you believe is guiding you in the right direction, because in my own life, trying to do it on your own is just not going to work. Next is relationships. This is obviously something that's very important to us also. Again, our relationship to ourselves. Like I said, we are usually our biggest critic. We tend to believe that we're not capable of as much that a lot of other people think that we're capable of. And, as you build that confidence, you realize that that is the truth, at least in my own life. Relationships with others, your family, friends, co-workers, mentors, everyone around you. Because we spend a lot of our time focused on building things and doing things, right? But when you end up in the casket, like we're all going to at some point, the only thing that's going to matter is the relationships that you built with other people, whether it's in business, whether it's your family. Your kids aren't going to care. Some of them are going to care about how much money you left them, but you want to leave your mark on someone, as many people as possible, and that comes through relationships. So like I said, we have nothing left in this world. It's going to be the effect that we've had on others. Exercise. This is big, right? For me, I do a lot of fitness, group training for the kids, for older adults, beginners, right? Everyone's heard the phrase, a body in motion stays in motion. I've learned that to be true, and there's plenty of examples, like Terry's doing great right now, right? And I know people who are 20, 25 years younger who are not doing so great, right? Because that little bit of effort now is too much to ask, and they're going to pay the price in the long run. So anything is better than nothing. Day one, you haven't done anything in years, you're just going to have to put your shoes on, sneakers, and walk. That's going to be better than what you did the day before. So don't feel overwhelmed. What is that, 1 minute?
Oh.
I
actually did start it immediately, so I think that's like 8 minutes.
Okay.
I got you.
Okay, cool. So exercise, pretty self-explanatory. Let's get moving. Next up. Eating healthy. This is how I do it. I do a conscious consumption of 80-20 healthy and then maybe some unhealthy. We also have to change the way that we view food. Like, we can't constantly view food as pleasurable, as a reward. We want to be viewing food more as your fuel than pleasure, constantly rewarding ourselves, right? Eating a healthy diet, it gives you more energy, right? You feel it when you eat fast food, when you eat a bunch of sugar and cake, you're gonna feel like you just ate Thanksgiving dinner and lethargic, kick in. Like, when you eat healthier, you have more energy to do better things. Optimal wellness, lastly, is impossible without abstaining from alcohol and drugs. I've tried it for a decade and a half. It doesn't work. Next, discipline. This is what separates ultimately people who are going to do things in their life and people who aren't, right? You're going to have, it's all about self-control, and it's one of the biggest common denominators of successful individuals is the ability to have self-control, do the things you should be doing and not do the things, like I have my quote from Jordan Peterson, Terry already mentioned. If you don't know where to start and you know you need to make some changes, just start by not doing the things that you know you shouldn't be doing. That's a pretty good place to start. Optimism. Vasandra mentioned being optimistic, having a positive attitude. That is the biggest trait among successful people, like she mentioned, and that energy is contagious. Negative energy is contagious, but so is positive energy, right? And people feel that. So I can't stress enough, like she was saying, that was a great presentation. I was going to have you at the end. But no one wants to be around that person that is always complaining. And I know because I used to be that person, right? And no one, even if what you're saying is the truth, no one wants to hear it, okay? Like, being positive has astronomical results in your life and the people around you. It's very important. Focus on the solution, not the problem. And that's what we try to do at BNI also. Last is mindfulness. So you want to be mindful of your current situation. So how do you figure out how other people view you? We have this one image of ourselves, and we have this other image that the way other people look at us, right? I think that the truth is somewhere in between those two. So now the only way to really figure that out is to be open to receiving honest feedback from people. You know, it's probably not going to sit well from a random stranger, but you talk to best friends or your family and say, hey, you know, how do you think I am at this? Like, how do I come across? Like, how do I speak to other people? Like, that is going to matter. And we have this view of ourselves, and it's great to be super confident in yourself, but there's that difference between being confident and narcissistic, right? And zero self-confidence, and like, you need to find that balance of what works. The only way I've realized to do that is you got to be ready to accept some criticism from other people, but also yourself. Take some time, do a self-audit on where you are in your life. Where do you want to be in 6 months, in 2 years, in 5 years, in 10 years? If you never put this map out, you're never going to get to that point, right? Are you happy with your life right now? Lastly, as time runs out, the one question I want to leave you with is, what can you be doing in your lives differently to improve them right now? Think about one thing, 2 things, 3 things you could do right now in your life to drastically improve it. If you did that one thing for the next 6 months, how much better would your life be? So I hope you guys received some value in this today. I didn't come here to sell anyone. What am I looking for? I'm looking for you guys to tell other people, hey, this guy knows what he's talking about with wellness and health and fitness, and like, I trust him. I'm genuinely trying to provide people with value, and that's the people I'm looking for.